Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. In this video, I will talk about the multiple intelligences theory. Before I start, there are some points that I want to highlight. Learning is mainly the learner's responsibility. No one can teach someone who does not want to learn. There is no miracle like that. The second point that I want to mention is the main responsibility of teachers is to set the necessary conditions for learning. They should act as leaders. They can inspire their students and enhance their learning. They can lead the way. The third point is student motivation can best be increased by challenging students, attracting their interest and attention. They should be actively engaged. They should be actively involved in the learning process. The next point is when the teaching style of the teacher matches the learning styles of the students, effective teaching is achieved. In order to create this match, teachers should use a wide variety of materials and activities. We should keep in mind that people have different abilities, talents, goals, life experiences, and motivations, including better working memory and persistence. And all these play a key role in learning. The next point is there should also be some mismatching, which can help students use their experiences to learn in new ways and realize certain aspects of the self which have not previously developed. Now we can talk about Howard Gardner's famous multiple intelligences theory. This theory was once very, very popular. Nowadays, it is not as popular as it was. But still, most teachers like this theory, and every now and then they refer to this theory. Briefly, Howard Gardner in 1983 asserted that human intelligence has the following characteristics: a set of skills that enable a person to resolve genuine problems encountered in life, the ability to create an effective product or offer a service that is valued in a culture, and the potential for recognizing or creating problems, thereby establishing the necessity for the new knowledge. So we have a set of skills that help us to solve problems, genuine problems, new problems, and we have also the ability to create an effective product and or offer a service, and the potential for recognizing and creating problems to come up with new products, okay? Discoveries, inventions. Gardner originally suggested that all human beings possess at least 7 different intelligences. And the 7 intelligences are verbal linguistic, logical mathematical, musical rhythmic, bodily kinesthetic, visual spatial, interpersonal social, and intrapersonal introspective. Later, he added two more intelligences to the list: naturalistic and existential. As you can see in this figure, these 9 intelligences exist in all human beings to a certain degree. Some psychologists and educators argue that Gardner's definition of intelligence is too broad and that his intelligences simply represent talents or personality traits and abilities. Especially Waterhouse in 2006 and White again in 2006 criticized Gardner's theory. They claimed that this theory suffers from a lack of supporting empirical research. However, Gardner himself stated that his work is based entirely on empirical findings. Well, like other broad theories which synthesize experimental, observational, and theoretical work, MI, multiple intelligences theory, cannot be proved or disproved on the basis of a single test or experiment. Rather, it gains or loses credibility as findings accumulate over time. Nevertheless, MI theory is still popular among educators as they believe it can help them understand their own and their students' strengths better. Gardner asserts that each person has all these intelligences to a lesser or greater degree. The learning style of a person is defined by the combination of how these intelligences work together. Let's briefly define these intelligences. Verbal linguistic intelligence is related to words and language, both written and spoken. Logical mathematical intelligence refers to the ability to handle chains of reasoning and to recognize patterns and order. Musical rhythmic intelligence refers to the capacity to recognize and use the rhythmic and tonal patterns. Bodily kinesthetic intelligence is the ability to use one's body to express ideas and feelings. Visual spatial, meaning related to space, spatial intelligence refers to the ability to comprehend shapes, figures, and to create mental images. Interpersonal social intelligence includes the ability to communicate verbally and non-verbally, to cooperate and collaborate, to notice and make distinctions among other people, other individuals, and to see things from other people's points of views. Intrapersonal or introspective intelligence involves the capacity to understand yourself, to assess your strengths and weaknesses, to reflect on your inner moods and intuitions. Naturalistic intelligence is an individual's ability to identify and classify patterns in nature. Existential intelligence is defined as sensitivity and capacity to tackle with deep questions about human existence, such as the meaning of life, why we die, how we got here, philosophical questions. Multiple intelligences theory has not been specifically designed for language teaching, but it has been cheerfully welcomed to the field. Although it is only natural to adopt this theory and its principles to language teaching, there are some issues that need serious consideration. Firstly, an important thing to keep in mind is that most topics in language teaching can be powerfully approached in a number of ways. However, it is unnatural to assume that each and every topic and or unit can be effectively approached in different ways to address all these intelligence types. Secondly, as language teachers, we should be aware of the fact that unless the learner focuses on the performance, it cannot be claimed that we are addressing an intelligence. For example, random physical exercise. In other words, just moving muscles. Just because you say, raise your hand, jump 5 times, does not trigger or address kinesthetic intelligence. Or playing music in the background does not address musical rhythmic intelligence, because it will just be a background noise. So what is important here is, in order to address an intelligence, the activity should be directly related to that specific intelligence. The next point that I want to mention here is that it is claimed that an individual possesses all intelligences to a lesser or greater degree, and a person's learning style is defined by a combination of how these intelligences work together. But it will be a great mistake to label a learner with a particular intelligence type. On the contrary, learners should be given a variety of opportunities to access information. This way, learners can explore different ways of thinking and learning, and they can strengthen their weaker intelligences. It is possible to strengthen weaker intelligences. Most people can develop each intelligence to an adequate level of competency. Some can develop all and have a rich level of competence. Finally, I want to mention that teachers first should construct their own intellectual profile. When they go through the process of creating such a profile, they will be more likely to recognize and appreciate the intellectual strengths of their students. Furthermore, they will be aware of their own strengths and weaknesses or preferences in teaching. And then they should help their learners to understand and determine their intellectual profile to enhance self-development. Again, by just saying you have your strongest intelligence is verbal linguistic is not labeling the student. Knowing this, the student needs to take the next step to strengthen the other intelligences if they want to be more successful in their future studies. Well, that's all for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more videos. Take good care of yourselves. Bye.